Monday Night Football. Packers at home of the 49ers. Yeah, no Jimmy G. So although they were in those games last year when Beathard got in there, they couldn't win, but were competitive from an ATS standpoint. Almost beat the Chargers, and then went up and down the field time and time again against Arizona, but kept turning the ball over last week. McCarthy and Rodgers don't get along, and Rodgers not happy with McCarthy, even after a win against Buffalo, said the offense was pathetic. Green Bay is 946 to total. Rodgers, they're averaging 23 points per game. They've done a lot of penalties. They've struggled on third down, and they've struggled in the red zone. And also they're banged up, both teams. So you got Cobb and Allison listed as questionable. And then with the 49ers, they had 8 guys miss practice on Thursday. It's a mass shooting.
Oh, I mean, the 49ers have injuries galore. They could have as many as 3 offensive linemen down. Obviously, they're starting quarterbacks out. Kittle's, I don't know if he's going to be able to go at tight end tonight. They got receiver injuries. Offensively, San Fran has more than their fair share of concerns tonight. But at the same time, I love this quote. Kyle Shanahan, 49ers head coach. I know we've been through some adversity. I know this is the hand that we've been dealt. And I think we have the people in our organization. I think we have the players. I think we have strong enough people who can deal with it and man up and find a way to win. It's never easy. It definitely gets harder when you do have injuries and things like that. But we have people in here who can win games. Now, San Fran, they were rough last week after moving the ball up and down the field. This is the question I want to ask you, Pauly, because to me it means absolutely nothing. But the 49ers as a franchise have dominated on Monday Night Football. 9-game Monday Night Football winning streak. This team's only been to the playoffs 3 times this century. I don't know, 3 times since maybe it's 2002 or something. But, it's not like they've been a playoff team and they've been a dominant team during this span. But somehow or other, San Fran has been a moneymaker on Monday Night Football. Do you think there's any carryover on that? Do you think that matters at all?
No, Christ, they've changed coaches so many times. That's all Harbaugh. They haven't been on Monday Night Football, and they've been terrible the last couple of years. That's all Harbaugh when they were going to NFC Championship games every year. That's what that run is.
It makes a lot of sense. But you talked about Green Bay and the issues moving the football offensively. Look, Packers have offensive line injuries. You talked about Cobb and Allison, who are both very questionable tonight. We don't know if Green Bay is going to have a full complement of their receiving core. And, of course, this is a team that hasn't scored 30 yet this year. It's a team that only has one comfortable win and cover all year. That came against Buffalo, and even in that game, where the Bills didn't move the ball at all, Packers were settling for field goals. They were getting shut down in the red zone. Now, Bills' defense is pretty good. It's probably a notch too better than San Fran's. But the bottom line is that game should have been, 35-0 or 42-0. And the fact is, Green Bay was settling for field goals in the red zone because that red zone offense isn't clicking. Aaron Rodgers, quote, "It's definitely below expectation, the offense. And we've kind of been stuck at that number, 23 points last week. Scored 22, 24, way up to 29 in week 2. Not quite the standard that we've set here over the years with the type of offense we think we can have and the type of offense we think we could have coming out of training camp. We're very close to getting things going. I feel like if we can get off to a better start on offense, it makes the entire squad play with a different type of confidence." But they've been getting off to these slow starts, Pauly. They've been struggling on third downs. Three games where they've been converted less than 40% on third down. They've been struggling in the red zone. Only 19th touchdown rate, just 50%. They have penalty problems on the offensive line. 10 offensive holding penalties, tied for second most in the NFL. And you look at the stats here for the season, Niners have more points than the Packers do. Packers only have 115 more yards than San Fran does, although the 49ers won't have Garoppolo in the lineup where they got much of that offensive production. But season-long stats do not merit a point spread in this range right now.
They got a kicker who has the yips, too. Crosby off that disaster against Detroit. Also want to see how the 49ers handle this adversity with all the guys hurt. It's been a bad defense so far to start, and you had it was definitely playoff talk and Super Bowl hype with the 49ers, and that's all gone with Jimmy G out, too. So we'll see if they can bounce back knowing that their quarterback's lost for the season. Who knows? And Shanahan talked about it, too, but at least they showed up against Arizona. But they kept turning the ball over. So that was one thing, although that loss looks worse every day considering Arizona can't do anything on offense and struggled against Minnesota yesterday too.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, the 49ers outgained the Cardinals by, 150 or 200 yards in that ballgame? It's not like Arizona moved the ball up and down the field. Josh Rosen hit a couple of throws and hit up with 28 points, but it wasn't 28 offensive points. Maybe it was 200 yards that San Fran outgained them by in that ballgame. Sure, it's not a good loss. San Fran's not a good team. The question is not, are the 49ers okay, or are they really bad? The question is, are the Packers any good?
Yep.
Because so far this season, we've seen a Green Bay team that looks fairly mediocre. The Packers are good. They're supposed to win and cover tonight. If they're Super Bowl contenders, this game's supposed to be 38-3. You know, not 38-3, but you know what I mean. It's supposed to be a pretty one-sided game. But if the Packers aren't any good, and we don't know yet if they are, San Fran, I mean, you saw the Shanahan quote, maybe the 49ers can hang around in this one for a long time. I like the attitude of saying, even last week when they got smacked around at home, I thought they played with passion, and I think they're buying into what Shanahan's selling, which, you know, the Packers and McCarthy, well, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. It's a coaching mismatch. I'll give you that one. McCarthy has no idea what he's doing. As one Packer fan told me, it's 13 years of the same shit. He's right about that. No creativity or imagination, and you can blame the upstairs front office as well.
Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.